Happy Thursday. I'm pleased to be joined as I am every Thursday for quite a while now by the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you today?
Doing okay, Keith. How about
How was
you?
your holiday? We didn't have a chance to speak
Fine,
last week. I didn't
fine.
want to
Well,
bother you. You were probably in the middle of eating, so I didn't want to, bother you last Thursday.
you
Everything
only
went well though?
called about 8 times. I kept hanging up on you, Keith, so that's okay.
Okay, well,
No, it
I
was
finally get
peaceful.
the I finally get the
Peaceful.
message. Um, let's start a little bit with COVID. The city, the numbers have been somewhat consistent for quite a while now in terms of the high positivity rate. The numbers are the numbers, and we're going to continue to deal with that. I want to talk about the schools. Late last week, Superintendent Malone had announced that beginning next week, primarily students will be learning remotely for the rest of December, heading into the Christmas break. What were your thoughts on that? Do you think it's prudent? We all know that we want the students in class. We know that, but have the numbers told us something differently?
I think the numbers in the schools are still positive. I think that's that doing what we're doing is called the abundance to caution model. We had an issue, I don't know, a month back, 6 weeks back at Green School, where we literally closed the building, cleaned it, tested people, and got the kids back in there. I I prefer that model, but I have to defer to the superintendent. That's his call. We gave him the authority, and I'm sure he's doing what he thinks is best for the kids.
But overall, something that's important to note, as you just said, is the number of cases within the schools have been manageable, if not really safe in a lot of respects, right?
Right. I think the schools have done a tremendous job. Their numbers have been very positive. I was watching the governor of New York when he was talking about the schools in New York. He said, "Listen, if we could have those numbers across the community, we should send everyone to a school." So I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I know people get nervous, but you do have to remember that people that didn't want their kids in school had already opted to get the kids out of school. They took them out. I think it's like 40 or 50% of our students are on full remote, so they don't go into schools. Kids that did decide to attend regularly, week on, week off, were the ones that this is impacting, not the ones that are already fully remote.
All right. Also, earlier this week, the Governor Baker came out and said that as of right now, he plans on making no other restrictions. We're going to continue moving forward the way we have been across the Commonwealth. He also mentioned that in some respects, he has some concerns over places of worship. Have you heard of any, and the potential spread, that there have been some clusters that can be associated with places of worship? Have you heard anything of that effect here in Fall River at all?
I did hear about one church, but again, that might have been 4 or 5 weeks back. I haven't heard anything currently. When you look at the clusters and the way they break down, it's almost exclusively household passage. And churches do have a small piece of it, but they're about the same at schools. So again, we want people to stay safe wherever they are, but at the same time, we want to look at the data.
And as we move forward again, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of the city numbers, still the same type of transmission that we've been seeing, mainly within families, within small social gatherings, that we're still seeing our increase in Fall River.
Right. I mean, I think that's exactly what's happening. I haven't, other than one of the nursing homes which had that cluster breakout, it's still kind of extending a little bit. Um, that's where we get, that's where we got our biggest jump recently. I think the rest of the numbers are coming across the city. It's like say it every week. It's like the Bay of Fundy. It just keeps rising and rising, and we're just waiting for it to settle down a little bit. There's always a push to shut things down and go in a different direction, and I don't have any problem with that when you can identify that source or where it's happening. I think that's what you respond to, because right now, across the entire country, I don't really see any state that has a firm handle on these numbers at all, unless it's
Yeah.
Hawaii. I guess Hawaii's doing okay, but we're not going to all move to Hawaii.
As appealing as that may be, I don't think we can do that. I just want to shift some gears rather into some other, a couple quick other topics. We've talked about this in the past. You mentioned it last week, actually, in your State of the City address. The likelihood, and now the with eventuality, it's going to happen now that the City Council this week voted to transfer ownership, if you will, from the city of the Bank Street Armory to the Redevelopment Authority. You've talked about a developer that is looking to put an entertainment center there. I guess now that's going to be moving forward. The city voted 8-0. I know that the redevelopment authority now will handle this, but what are your hopes in trying to move this along swiftly but appropriately?
That's the key, swiftly but appropriately. What we're trying to do is bring someone to the table whose business is in New Hampshire, who has a number of event centers across New England, from Concord, New Hampshire to Woonsocket, Pawtucket, and has experience working in venues like this. He knows how to do weddings. He knows how to do festivals. He understands what an event center means to a community. So we specifically are looking for someone with that kind of experience. What this transfer simply did, and again with the city council's help to draw up a stronger MOU, is set specific timelines for what's going to happen, closing, the renovations, to put in specific things that we're looking for to be done in this building, and then within 2 years from when he starts, it hopefully will be completed according to the MOU. We're going to have a place that Fall River can be proud of, and I think that will coincide with the renovation of the old BCC right across the street. So we'll see a little bit of a corridor starting to form, which could potentially go all the way to the waterfront, and we'll bring people here both for food, events, and something different.
Yeah, I know. When people hear transfer of property and just the selling of property by the city, obviously the track record has not been that effective. You can point to the police old police station on Bedford Street and others, but based on what you see, this looks like that the city is really well protected in terms of
Right.
the selling and the transfer of this building, right?
But yeah, I think we're protected on two fronts, both from the written agreement and from the RDA. We have an RDA now which is extremely strong, and the people on the RDA, not to say anything about the ones in the past, these people are 100% committed to making Fall River a better place to live. They're literally city government's partners. RDA's office, I can throw a stone and hit it. It's right behind me down the hall. They are working in conjunction with us on the Liberty property, the city pier, now the Bank Street Armory. All these are improvements to the community. These are not improvements to the RDA. These are improvements to help everyone in Fall River. And that's what people have to understand. These are our partners. They're assuming the mantle of the people that are going to transfer this building, because they have the ability to negotiate specifically with a buyer. They can say what the city wants done. If we put it in a committee and tried to do it the traditional way, we could have, not that we would have, we could have lost control of this building completely. With our agreement with both the RDA, to the point where if the gentleman does what he said he's going to do, and 20 years down the road he decides he wants to sell the building to Marriott, he still has to go back through the city and give us the right of first refusal. So the city is going to make sure they have control of this for a long time.
All right. And finally, some fun happening in the city this weekend.
No,
what has
Keith,
been
time out.
Oh.
I gotta make you.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you about the weather. Is that the situation?
That's where we're going. Yeah.
All right.
We had
What's going to happen?
Same issue with the Halloween drive-in. It looks like, from what I watched the weather again this morning with my wife to make sure 2 people heard it, it looks like Saturday's going to be a complete washout. So this time we're postponing the Santa's Jolly Ride for a week. We'll do it next Saturday. We'll light the tree next Saturday. Saturday does not look good this week. We're going to have a washout, but it is still on. It's just been postponed a week, and I'm very regretful to have to do this again. But I don't want people standing out in the rainstorm for an hour watching our caravan go by. I want people safe. I want them to be warm. So we're gonna roll it back and give it a week.
All right, so that'll be a week from Saturday. That'll be the 12th. Same time, 3 o'clock. Same, obviously the same route. We've talked about the route many times, so everything will not change there. And we'll have the lighting of the tree right after that next Saturday.
But I do want people to know that last night at the Narrows, with the tremendous support of 4 of the businesses, Bay Coast Bank and a few others, we recorded our Christmas TV special with the Sons of Serendip, and it was absolutely spectacular. I wish there was 2,000 people there seeing it live, but that's not in the time of COVID. There was a handful of us, but I can assure you, Fall River Government Television and the Narrows and Bay Coast Bank came through in a big way. And I think on the 19th, at 8 o'clock on CW out of Providence, people are going to really see a special show centered in Fall River, and it's something good for the community. And it's really, really great Christmas music, so it gives us something to lift our spirits up.
And that's definitely something to look forward to, as well as the parade next week. All right, Mayor, thank you for your time as always. We'll talk again next week. Take care.
I appreciate it, Keith.
All right, have a great day. I'm Keith Tebow, and we'll talk to you next time.